The breakup and the boom. That's the focus of tonight's angle. Well, the clash of the titans was something to behold yesterday, and the shockwaves are still reverberating through MAGA land and the GOP and the rest of the country. Will they, or won't they, kiss and make up? Well, hopes for a rapprochement or a reconciliation by telephone kind of fizzled earlier today when, in a phone call with Bret Baier, Trump said Musk just totally lost it. And Musk's spokesman said that Musk himself didn't give an F about the GOP or the RNC. Oh, that's nice. But at the same time, posting on X earlier, Musk seemed a little bit maybe to soften, agreeing with a Bill Ackman post in which he wrote that he and Trump are better off in an alliance together. Makes sense. Look, who knows how all of this drama is going to unfold, where it ultimately will end up. But if anyone thought that liberals were going to welcome, Elon Musk with open arms, Hakeem Jeffries threw cold water on that idea when asked about it earlier today. Look, no one, again, knows how this will end up as an ongoing, unfolding escalation, or ultimately they'll get back together. We hope they do. But one thing we do know is that life will go on. And there's a lot of great economic news out there, leading the economic doomsdayers to scratch their heads. The people at Bloomberg didn't know what to report. And the jobs numbers came in higher than expected at 139,000. Only 130 were predicted. And wage growth outpaced inflation at 3.9%. And digging into the details, it also looks like those jobs that were created were going to native-born Americans. Yeah, that's good news. And as a result of all this, the Dow also went up nearly 450 points today. That is a big wow. But I thought we were told the sky was falling because of all the Trump tariffs. As for all that hand-wringing about it's going to cause inflation, well, it did not happen. The globalists at The Economist are obviously frustrated. They had to post this headline: Trump's tariffs have so far caused little inflation. Boo-hoo. Noting that rarely had economists spoken in such unison, warning about the inflation that was supposedly coming. But then they had to add, the administration should not be cheering just yet. With tariffs higher than during much of the Depression, consumers are bound to see some effect in time. My friends, that is called wishful thinking from The Economist. Well, the truth is Donald Trump has been consistently better on economic issues than all of the so-called experts, than all of his critics. He ran on restoring the middle class, on bringing jobs back home, enforcing the border, lowering energy prices, and getting U.S. better trade deals. He's working on all of those issues on all fronts 24/7. Despite the court rulings that sometimes have been against him, despite limited help from Capitol Hill, despite almost no help from the business community, with help from Elon Musk, without help from Elon Musk, he will keep fighting. And back to Elon, look, he's smart enough to know that if he has any political home, and I know no party's perfect, but it has to be with the Trump Republicans. Democrats, oh my goodness, they showed their true selves. Every time they sat silently when Teslas got vandalized, even torched, and when their constituents tried to destroy the entire company that Elon Musk worked so hard to create. Again, Republicans are not perfect. We criticize Republicans plenty on The Angle. They have been driving the spending problem for decades. But they're not insane, and they don't seek to punish American entrepreneurs and innovators just because they happen to be Democrats. And that's The Angle.
The biggest breakup in America is what everyone's talking about. Well, everyone except Trump.
Here's exactly what he said. Quote, I'm not even thinking about Elon. He's got a problem. The poor guy's got a problem. He said he won't be speaking to him for a while, but he said he wishes Elon Musk well. I mean, the blast radius from this fallout is really, really big and very wide. But right now, he said he's not interested in that, and he's moving on.
I'm moving on. No one ever wants to hear that. Trump just says he's too busy.
What's your view on Elon Musk as of today? I mean, have you heard from him at all?
Honestly, I've been so busy working on China, working on Russia, working on Iran, working on so many things. I'm not thinking about Elon.
On the China.
And I just wish him well.
47's planning on getting rid of anything that reminds him of Musk. Remember that shiny red Tesla that Elon sold him? Well, it's getting doged.
There is a Tesla there that President Trump bought during a Tesla demo on the South Lawn a few months ago to try to help Elon Musk's business while it was being vandalized. We're told that that Tesla, still sitting there, the red Tesla with Florida tags, is either going to be given away or sold off.
But Trump says Elon can keep some of the things he gave him.
You gave Elon Musk when he left the White House symbolically to the White House, to the administration at large. I think that's what.
Yeah.
Would you like to give that back?
No, I don't take things back.
Elon woke up this morning and signaled he'd be open to burying the hatchet. Billionaire hedge fund manager Bill Ackman says they're stronger together than apart. Elon responded saying, "You're not wrong." Elon tried to set up a phone call with Don and maybe work things out. Trump said no, he's not interested. Elon's totally lost it, is what Trump's telling people. He'd rather take anyone else's call. He even picked up the phone when ABC called at the crack of dawn.
You call the president on his cell phone at 6:45, he picks up.
Yeah, he picked up. Look, there's been reporting out there that the White House is working to put together a call between Elon Musk and Donald Trump to broker some kind of peace. I asked Donald Trump about that. He said he's not particularly interested in talking to Elon Musk. He said Elon wants to talk to him. He's not ready to talk to Musk, who he called a man who has lost his mind.
Everyone at the White House chose sides, and not a lot of people sided with Musk. Insiders say we're dealing with someone who's unstable. We saw it coming. We have one president, one person got elected. Some people in the White House say they didn't really like Elon's attitude. People in Trump world feel like the president gave him everything, and he still stabbed him in the back. Quote, the president treated him almost like a son. He invited his family to Christmas dinner. He let him sleep over. He let him walk in and out of meetings. The president went to the max informality to welcome this guy. Trump brought him to UFC fights and rallies. Here they are behind the scenes at MSG. Watch.
You want to go on stage, Ed?
Yeah.
You do? Wow, you're crazy. Is this thing on?
Military.
X. Should we say President Trump? Yes.
And then search.
Yes.
Search up.
No, it's game over. The selection goes somewhere. Game over. Hi. How do you do?
Fantastic. That would be great.
Go have a good time. That's great. Good Spanish.
You go have a good time, man.
Thank you.
That's from The Art of the Surge. You can watch more of that on Fox Nation. But after the campaign and 130 days in the White House, sources say Elon overstayed his welcome.
I talked to a couple of people yesterday who said Elon had privately talked about, well, maybe I could extend my time in the White House. And Trump kind of politely said, nah, you've done a great job. You can leave now. So they weren't quite as close as they were at the very frenzied beginning of that situationship. But it was a good lukewarm relationship.
We can't confirm that. But working at the White House, there's a lot of pressure. And everything's a turf war. And Doge was in everyone's department. Remember that black eye that Elon was sporting last week? He said it was from X, his son. PBD says there might be more to that story.
If you use your imagination, God knows what happened with that black eye. Mm-hmm. That black eye, was it a fight that took place? Somebody swung and it really offended Elon. Is like, look what I'm going to do to you guys. Is that a Lutnick? Is that, I don't know who else did it. Who else will be in that room? I don't know who it is. Maybe, but think about it. That doesn't accidentally happen. And you want to do something like this too. Maybe it was a meeting while they're calling each other out and somebody just, because Elon started calling out Trump and it got nasty and then somebody swung.
That's obviously speculation, but there's a lot of rumors flying around. And no one's trying to cancel Elon. He had a beef with the big, beautiful bill and has a right to speak his mind. He's saying he doesn't want tax relief and he wanted to keep his EV subsidies going. And he thinks we're spending too much. But he had to know, going scorched earth in public the way he did, about the centerpiece of the Trump agenda was going to cause a massive earthquake. Republican sources tell us Musk won't be able to kill the bill, but he's killing the whole sales pitch. So they want to move on and pass this beauty by Independence Day. AOC, though, digging the drama.
Oh, man, the girls are fighting, aren't they? I would say that this was something that was a long time coming, where we've been seeing that these two huge egos were not long for being together in this world as friends. And so I think this breakup we've been seeing a long time coming, but we'll see what the impacts are of it legislatively.
AOC doesn't get it. Republicans are allowed to speak their mind. Democrats, they get handed talking points, and they can't have an opinion. So they're all butting heads about what to do. Swalwell says if Democrats win back the House, they're going to open up the Epstein files and look for Trump's name. But he better be careful where he looks, because he might find Clinton's. Some Democrats are trying to woo Elon back into their party. Sorry, we burnt your cars, Nazi, and accused you of killing 300,000 people. No, that's not happening. Elon's not that naive. And even Democrats don't flip-flop that fast. Others want Trump to finally be a dictator on day one and get revenge.
Those Doge employees, the people that Axelrod was just talking about, are very dangerous. If Donald Trump is smart, the first thing he's going to do is fire, investigate, and prosecute all of Elon's people who are all throughout government with their laptops downloading data right now.
Trump's going to lock up big balls? Fat chance. Trump just had a falling out with his biggest donor, the world's richest man. And Democrats don't even know what to say. CNN thinks Trump's going to have Elon executed.
I think this is bad for Musk. If you look at the history around the world of authoritarians breaking up with their oligarch buddies, those oligarch buddies don't end up in a good place. They either end up impoverished, imprisoned, or dead. I'm not saying that that's going to happen to Elon Musk here, but the power is with the government. You saw Donald Trump immediately say, all right, we're going to take away your, contracts. We're going to, punish you and retaliate. And he has the power to do that. We've seen Donald Trump exercise that power.
Democrats are like, Trump is going to kill you. You're safe with us. We'll protect you, Elon, for a price. If Trump was a murderous dictator, everybody in the press would be dead. And Comey would be 6 feet deep. Trump's had people come and go his whole life. DeSantis is still alive. Omarosa's still kicking. And Michael Cohen, he hasn't had any accidents. It's not like Trump's Hillary and just offs people, allegedly. Politics is vicious. Having Elon around was fun. But just because he's gone doesn't mean the fun's over. Trump says America's hot. 6 months ago, it was cold as ice. He's keeping his mind busy and says after the big, beautiful bill, he's building a big, beautiful ballroom. Quote, just inspected the site of the new ballroom that'll be built. Compliments of a man known as Donald J. Trump at the White House. For 150 years, presidents and many others have wanted a beautiful ballroom, but it never got built because nobody previously had any knowledge or experience in doing such things. But I do. And these are the fun projects I do while thinking about the world economy, the United States, China, Russia, and lots of other countries, places, and events. It will all be good, maybe even great, depending on who is the president of the USA. Trump's going to throw a party of the century at the White House. And we'll see if Elon makes the cut.
And welcome to this special edition of Hannity. All right, so the magnitude of the mess that Joe Biden left behind and how President Trump is now having a clean house. Well, I want to be really crystal clear about one thing. The sheer volume and extent of the unmitigated disasters that President Trump inherited, it's almost unthinkable. The economy in a complete state of shambles, massive inflation, prices up 20%, gas prices through the roof. Growth was next to nothing. Few private sector jobs were being created. Wages stagnant, consumer debt through the roof, American industry gutted. Interest rates tripled. And the border, we endured a record level of illegal immigration, anywhere from 12 to 20, nobody knows the exact number, in just 4 years, including, let's see, known terrorists. We have, Iranian assassination squads. We have gang members, cartel members, human traffickers, drug traffickers. We have murderers. We have rapists. We have other violent criminals in this country, all operating inside our country with virtually no fear of deportation under Joe Biden. Overseas, Biden failed to prevent costly new wars on not one but two continents. No one respected, nobody feared the U.S. after the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. Our relationship with our allies in the Middle East was in shambles. Everybody worldwide knew he was a cognitive mess. China operating with impunity, including, over our own airspace. Remember the spy balloon? And back at home, we had virulent anti-Semitism, extremism from Biden's own base of his party. That was on the rise. From college campuses to the halls of Congress, President Trump came within a millimeter of losing his life to an assassin, then another would-be assassin later. And meanwhile, college campuses, they became nothing but hotbeds of bigotry, woke politics, infiltrating every part of American life, including our military and our schools. And let's not forget about the out-of-control bureaucracy that waged a campaign of lawfare, censorship against Trump, his supporters, while also wasting billions and billions of your dollars on broadband internet that failed to connect anyone and to anything, and charging stations that were never built. And we spent billions on that and a slew of other bizarre left-wing projects, both at home and all over the world. Oh, and if they had their way, they would pick the car in your driveway. They would take away your gas stove. They would take away your plastic straws. They would take away your air conditioner. They would take away your refrigerator. So much for the pro-choice party. And as you can see, Trump is also facing the challenge of a lifetime. But tonight, despite all of the noise, all of the hysteria, all the doom, the gloom predictions from the left, well, we are seeing massive progress. President Trump is fixing the country. Look at one item. Look at the economy. Trump slashing regulations, unchained American oil and gas industry so America can aspire to energy dominance. That'll make us rich. A lot of high-paying career jobs for people. And, of course, President Trump halting Biden's expansion of government and the bureaucracy. And now, look at the results. Take a look.
It's really exciting overall. And look, the real story here is the government jobs are down and the small business economy is growing and the private economy is growing. This is exactly what Donald Trump wanted to do. We're inversing everything that Biden had done.
If we look at the earnings from a month-over-month perspective, it comes in up 0.4, much better than expected. We were looking for up 0.3.
This is the third jobs day beat in a row, right? The third time the president beat expectations in a row. He's created over 500,000 jobs since he was inaugurated, and that's while cutting the federal workforce by 50,000 jobs, thanks to efforts to trim waste, fraud, and abuse.
And amazingly, the very respected Atlanta Fed this week says they're projecting 4.6% growth for the second quarter. Now, for the third month in a row, the jobs report outpacing expectations, 140,000 new jobs in the month of May. Now, keep in mind, those are private sector jobs filled by American workers. That is the direct opposite of what we saw under Biden. That's not all. Hourly earnings for Americans up a significant 4%. That helps against inflation that Biden created. And amid Donald Trump's tariff negotiations, inflation went down. Went down to 2.1%, right where the Fed likes it. Maybe Jerome Powell will get off his duff and maybe he'll drop a full basis point and get the economy moving, which every other country has done. And get this, the U.S. trade deficit narrowed by a record amount. And by the way, revenues from tariffs the last 2 months, close to $50 billion. Incredible news. The president hasn't even been in office 6 months. And that's not all. Border security, a tremendous success for the president, probably his most obvious success. We're going to have a lot more on that with Stephen Miller. But look at these statistics. Border crossings remain at record lows. ICE just broke an arrest record 2 days in a row under Trump's new immigration directives. Violent crime is also way down under Trump, including New York City, Chicago, even Baltimore, where woke politics have been pushed to the side, while police are now beginning once again to abandon, defund, dismantle no bail laws and lock up career criminals and conduct all over the country routine street patrols. Oh, policing works. And through new executive actions, President Trump is also forcing schools to ditch their own woke policies. And also he's protecting women's sports in Title IX. And today, of all days, on the anniversary of D-Day, it is important to note that under Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth's leadership, woke politics, they are kicked out of our military. Instead, now the military is solely focused on war and fighting and protecting our country and liberty and freedom. As a result, the Biden-era recruiting woes, they are now over. Recruitment in every single branch in the military is now surging. Incredible progress in less than 6 months. Of course, the work is far from over. The president inherited a disaster. Under, the president's leadership, the country, thankfully, is beginning to recover from these last 4 years. The dark days of the cognitively impaired Biden are over, and soon we could be headed for that golden age of America that the president talks about.
That's impressive. Now do it with your hands. It's Friday, so you know what that means. Let's welcome tonight's guest. His weekend show gives you all the news and none of the kill mead. Co-host of Fox & Friends Weekend, Charlie Hurd. This Caucasian goes good with any occasion. Fox News contributor Tom Shalhoub. We couldn't get Will Kane, so here's Todd Pyro. And she went from naughty by nature to balance of nature. Host of the Kennedy Saves the World podcast, Kennedy. Yeah. It's like a white boy summer here, huh? Sorry, Kennedy. Before we get to some news stories, let's do this.
Greg's Leftovers.
It's Leftovers, where I read the jokes we didn't use this week, and as always, it's my first time reading them. So if they suck, we'll smear Joe Mackey's ass in peanut butter and send him to the Pride Parade. Probably like that. All right. Who knew? Oh, you're going to love this. That's right. Pride Month is still underway, which means in New York City, all chalk body outlines will feature jazz hands. President Trump and Elon Musk are feuding after Elon called the big, beautiful bill a mountain of disgusting pork. In Trump's defense, there's nothing in the bill about The View. You see that one coming? Yeah. Huh? Amazon is testing humanoid robots that deliver packages. Here at Fox, of course, we've been testing humanoid robots for years. Chinese scientists who allegedly smuggled a deadly fungus into America will remain in U.S. custody. And guess who already posted her bail? And guess who already tried to bang her? 1-2 punch. 1-2. According to a new study, hanging out with ugly people can make you appear better looking than you are. Anyway, thanks for being here, Todd. Michelle Obama has a new fashion book coming out. It's a pop-up book. People love pop-up books. Let's see what the fuss is about. According to a new study, 99.99% of the Earth's deep ocean floor has never been seen by a human. The same goes for this guy's penis. According to a new study, there are 36% fewer gay characters on TV. But that'll change with the return of the World Cup. At the Sean Diddy Combs trial, The View's Sunny Hostin says she caught him staring at her. So if you're making a list, he likes seeing people being urinated on and Sunny Hostin. Very short list. Speaking of Sunny, she claims Doge's cuts killed 300,000 people, mostly children, prompting Doge to change its name to Planned Parenthood. A museum in Amsterdam is displaying a 200-year-old condom made of sheep's appendix. Oh, so that's where I left that thing, said one man. A researcher at Tufts University is studying the use of psychedelic mushrooms to treat irritable bowel syndrome. You still yourself, but now you think your poop is your old buddy Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, what's going on? You owe me $20. A Florida man has pleaded guilty to stealing 75 neighborhood pool floats, which he used for sexual gratification. It's crazy. Why not just steal one and use it 75 times? Learned that from Kudlow. Dogs can be an official witness at weddings in Colorado. The law would also apply to cats, except the women who own them never marry. Thank you. Oh, boy. Pete Hegseth removed Harvey Milk's name from a Navy ship, as many believe it was only named after him because he was gay. That also may end plans for the proposed USS John Travolta. Jerry Nadler is demanding a probe after the Department of Homeland Security detained his aide. Though the last time he demanded a probe, NASA's Voyager 2 got lost in his ass. Greta Thunberg is sailing to Gaza to give out tampons to Palestinians. Hey, that's my job, said one man. Wow. They're on fire. All right. According to Michelle Obama, producing life is the least important thing the female reproductive system does. Huh. Well, you can say that again, said one man. And finally, Zimbabwe is considering killing dozens of elephants and distributing the meat to its people. Coincidentally, the State Department is warning Joy Behar to avoid Zimbabwe. Those were good. That was a good bunch. So what a feud between Trump and Musk. It started when Elon called Trump's big, beautiful bill a disgusting abomination, which, by the way, was the original title for Jesse's show. But after that, things went downhill faster than Taylor Swift once she hit 30. I know, really let herself go. And I have to say, they're making all of us billionaires look bad. Seriously, the last time people aired out that much dirty laundry was Jerry Nadler's staff after Taco Tuesday. But the Dems and the media are in a state of shock. Wait, you guys disagree? Over principles? Out in the open? In front of the American people? Gross! Why don't you do what we did? Agree to a massive backroom cover-up to conceal our horror show of a presidency. Sure, that put our nation at risk, but no one's gonna laugh at us. And then later you can write a tell-all book that implicates yourself when he's out of office. So yeah, I'll take this public tussle over the cover-up of a missing president. With the Trump White House, we know what's going on behind the scenes because there is no behind the scenes. Like Brit Hume in a Speedo, they're showing way more than we need to see. Trump wants the tax cuts he promised, while Elon is really pissed about the bill's lasting impact. But the Dems, it's not about which side is right. To them, what's right never factors in. It's just politics to them. So while this tiff is passionate, it's also authentic and brave. Two things the Dems aren't. Musk is risking it all because he believes in something. Trump has proven he'll risk his life for all of us. This is a patriot speaking truth to another patriot, not lying or hoaxing or deceiving Americans simply to hold on to power. But the media shrieks because this behavior is so alien to them. As cowards, they don't get the concept of fighting for principles. But look, no one wants to see these guys at war. If Kilmeade and I can work together, so can they. Don't let a self-inflicted wound ruin progress for millions of Americans. Remember, the mission is always bigger than the relationship. And part of that mission is Doge. And through Doge, the president and Elon showed how our taxes are being laundered to support illegal left-wing causes, and revealing bureaucracies like USAID to be as corrupt as my computer files after I clicked that email link about Korean teens. In other words, all of us should remember that the goal is the product, and it's one that can live forever. It's like when David Lee Roth and Eddie Van Halen had their falling out. Sure, he had to deal with Sammy Hagar for a while, but the magic that Dave and Eddie created, it lives on forever. Even today, if you hear Hot for Teacher in a bar, you'd bang Mrs. Doubtfire. So Trump and Musk, we need them as a team for the sake of our country's future. And they both need to admit the amazing work they've already done and that there's much more work left to do. And every second they spend infighting is a chance for AOC to look slightly less retarded. So I hope this gets settled. But if it doesn't, we will lovingly accept that such disagreements are aired out in the open. We voted for it. And unlike the Dems, we'll take a feud over a fraud any day. All right, Charlie, how big is this story? Is it a big story or is it a summer fun story? Where do you see it going?
I think it's all of the above. I think the most important thing is what you said, which is it's all happening out in the open. You've got this. It's sort of like the two gladiators going at it at the Roman Colosseum. The two greatest people on Twitter going at it in just like monstrous fashion. And I love that it's out in the open, and I love that it's really freaking entertaining. And by the way, how did anybody think this was going to end any other way? Of course you were going to get this. And it is honest. People are asking, is this thing staged? It's not staged. That said, I think that they could sort of patch up very quickly.
Yeah.
And I think that the fissure between the two is that you have Donald Trump, who is in his second term, and he's operating as trying to like make the system work. Elon Musk is still the barbarian at the gate that Donald Trump was. Donald Trump is now past the gate trying to make it work, and Elon is still the barbarian at the gate saying, you can't do this because it's so bad. And it's like, dude, have you ever seen a bill get put together? It's so disgusting.
Yeah.
Of course it's disgusting, but there are good things in it, and Trump wants to get that done. Of course, at the end, I do want to see him get back together.
Yeah, it's like Musk thinks, if you can build a rocket, you've got to be able to do this bill. But a bill is harder than a rocket, sadly.
Yeah, so Trump is an executive, And that's why he's very good. He's not a legislative guy.
Yeah.
And Elon Musk is something like executive squared. He's like, he truly does, he just off the top of his head gets things done. And it's got to be so frustrating. But, that is kind of how the legislative process works.
Yeah, it sucks. Tom, Charlie makes an interesting point. Like, the saying is a bull in a china shop, not two bulls in a china shop.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people saying today, oh, I hope they patch this up. I don't even know if they need to patch it up. I mean, Elon Musk is not in government. He needed him for a while, and he seemed to be having a lot of fun on the campaign trail. And even Elon said, look, Trump's not perfect, but we need him right now. He said, this is desperate. And so him and all his tech bros were like, Trump's not our favorite guy in the whole world, but we absolutely need him. So he's out of government now. He's not in Doge. So why can't Trump just feud with him for the rest of his life? It doesn't really matter. And Trump, he seems to get along with people that he disagrees with. He gets along, as he says, with Putin. Or he talks about Xi. He went to North Korea. So Trump can get along with people. He could still cut deals with him. He doesn't have to be buddies with him.
Yeah.
But I mean, does this make Trump look so reasonable? I thought Trump was an impulsive tweeter.
Yeah.
Trump was like...
Yeah, he's the cooler head that prevails.
Yeah.
It's a new role for Trump.
Trump was like, oh, yeah, Elon is wrong. And Elon was like, I'm leaving the planet, Epstein Island.
Todd, let's pretend people listen to you.
Sure. Suspend disbelief for a second.
Yeah. What advice would you give could you give any advice?
Can I give advice as a human?
Yeah.
Yes, my 47 years on this planet have allowed me to give advice. My advice would be, I think they both need to go to their corners, figure out why they're upset, take a deep breath, and then ultimately get back. Because if you look at Trump's history, Trump feuded very publicly with the entire 2016 Republican primary field, said really mean things about them, like Ted Cruz, serial killer, things like that. And now they're all under the Trump tent. Lindsey Graham, I mean, you remember hey, I'm going golfing with Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham's the worst human ever. And then they're going golfing again the next week. I agree with Charlie that it's bigger than this time. And the egos here are two of the biggest egos that you've ever seen. But I think it'll get back.
I don't think this is an ego thing. I think that Musk really believes that the world is going to collapse if he doesn't get.
But I think both can be true.
Yeah.
I think absolutely both can be true. I guess my favorite part of this entire story is this. Let's say Kennedy and I want to engage in a social media feud. I don't know, perhaps over the fact that on the last Gutfeld, she called me not a real Fox and Friends anchor. Call back. We go on a social media platform and we attack each other. These two bought their own social media platforms to attack each other. Like Trump's on True Social. It's mine, I'm gonna do it. And like Elon Musk owns X. And that just shows, I think, the stakes here and how this is so much bigger than I think we can even understand. But that's what also makes it, to a certain extent, funny. And I think to a certain extent, sort of interesting to shine a light on how our world works right now, which is just kind of ridiculous, but we're all along for the ride, so here we go.
Oh, so Kennedy, the ride's about to end.
Yeah, it's been a great ride.
It has
People don't want to get off.
Yes, yes.
You know, if they do want to get off, they'll come to New York for the Pride Parade, I guess.
Yes.
I'm so deeply amused by how quickly this escalated. And it's like, we're not going to use your rockets. Like, I'm decommissioning my rockets. It's reminding me of Step Brothers, and I'm just waiting for Elon to rub his balls all over Trump's drum kit.
Yes. Yeah, it really is. Like, it's weird to see two billionaires act like each one trying to up the other ante.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you went to Epstein. It's like, how do you walk back from that?
Yes.
That's the thing. Like, I'm sure they could just pick up the phone. It's like, no, Elon Musk wrote himself an insurance policy to make sure that this is an unhealable rift.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. And I think you're absolutely right. Like, he feels like he's like, I left my companies. Tesla's in the gutter. I came and did this because it's so incredibly necessary. And finally, I have a politician who's listening to me. And then he just turns his back on me and he shivs me with a bill that's just going to add to the debt. And this is horrible.
Yeah.
So it's a slap in the face.
All right, before we go, come see me on tour. This weekend I'll be with some nobody named Tom Shalhoub. And the great Joe Mackey in Grand Rapids. You get 3 for the price of 1. That's Grand Rapids, Michigan. And then the next day, Rockford, Illinois. In September, I'll be in Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and then later in the year, Arizona and Texas. Go to ggutfeld.com for tickets.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.